Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you are in the world. Coming from Chiang Mai, Philip here, and I'm in the downstairs bit. It's not the official public bit, but I'm in the Tamil coffee house in the middle of Chiang Mai, and they are linked. And in the downstairs bit, they sell all kinds of furnishings and clothing and so on. A lot of it is from Nepal, because if you didn't know, Tamil, T-H-A-M-E-L. Is the sort of travellers' headquarters in Kathmandu in Nepal, and I've been there with my wife. Fantastic place, doing all the trekking in the Himalayas. Anyway, I digress. Today I'm talking about the A to Z of my A to Z series of building yourself, loving yourself and growing yourself. Self, blah blah. We did A and B before, which was self-awareness and self-belief. Today is C and D. And C is an obvious one, that stands for self-confidence. And then the D, I'm going to talk about self-discovery, but there's honourable mentions for self-development, which is probably the whole A to Z series. That's the point, develop. If you think about evolution and life, everything develops. And if we are developing and if we're self-developing, then of course, you know, life is going to be going along more smoothly than roughly. Nothing's all smooth, but the point is to be harmonious as often as possible. So self-development, discover, you know, that covers the whole thing. And then the other one is self-determination. Now that means that you're in charge of your health and your life and your destiny to whatever degree you can be. And that's an important one, especially in this day and age, because our schooling, and if you watch my education videos, you'll realise I'm not very complimentary about the school systems at all. And which brings me actually straight to self-confidence. And you know, we're at school basically for 12 years, and it's my understanding, my experience, and I have talked to hundreds of children and hundreds of teachers and thousands of my own students, and from over 30 countries, I've counted them. And in a nutshell, schools, they don't develop our self-confidence, they actually knock it. So people get to 18, they come out into the big adult world, and they've been deprived of the opportunity to become self-confident people. Not just not developed, but almost stamped upon. Now, so, you know, if I say to you, self-confidence, give yourself a score out of 10, what will you give yourself? You can't have 0. Now, even if you said 9, that still leaves room for improvement, development. So self-confidence is a huge thing in life, and people who are self-confident will do things and be proactive and be productive and creative, and they won't worry about looking stupid or failing or making mistakes or whatever. They will just do things, and doing things ourselves is the #1 way of learning for ourselves in life. And self-confidence is such a force that if we've got it, we'll do things, and if we haven't got it, we won't do things. Now, it's a bit of a chicken and egg situation, because if you're fearful of making mistakes, you won't do things, so your lack of self-confidence continues. You've got to break the cycle. So you have to do things. This is the way to build confidence. You do things, you learn things, you achieve things, you fall down, but you get up. And then when you fall down and then you get up, and then in that, you know, at bedtime or the next day or a week later or a year later, and you look back at what you did, okay, you had a problem, but you got up and dusted yourself down, that will be an achievement. And confidence comes from a whole series of achievements and successes and failures, because as I say, and it's not even a failure, I mean, society talks about failure, but for me as an educator, failure is an episode of learning, and you know, fast learning. So self-confidence, you can't just make it happen, and it's not that you're born with it, or I wasn't born with it. No, it's nothing to do with that. It's available to everybody. And the last word on self-confidence, because you just develop it through, as I say, actions, learning stuff. Don't listen to the voice that says I can't do it, or I'm not good enough, or no. You have to overcome that voice. And just for the people that think they can't overcome that voice, I'm in Chiang Mai and I meet a lot of people here who've come from all over the world, and I speak to people who are really successful, and they got up and they created their own business, their own venture, and I've watched them on videos on YouTube channels as well, and they all have that voice in their head that says I'm not good enough, or what happens if it's a failure, or if I do this I'm going to have egg on my face, but they do it. So even highly successful people still have that voice that says I can't do it. So if you've got that voice and you're saying, well, I can't do it and I can't do it, well, just bear in mind that lots of successful people have the same inner voice. And this is the purpose for my Self series, is to overcome that voice, because we all seem to have it. And again, I lay the blame not on anybody, but on the school systems. They do not develop us as children. Anyway, let's go to D. What was my D? My D was, it wasn't development, it wasn't determination, it was self-discovery. Think about that. The discovery of your self. What is your self? This is me. This is my self. What is it? Well, it's the physical body you can see. It's the mind that you can't see. And is it even in there? It might be in my toes. Who knows where it is? We think it's in the brain. Could be in the gut. Some people say the gut is a mind. Anyway, there's the mind, the body, the soul, the spirit, the consciousness, all kinds of things, and it all adds up to a whole. And the body is basically the carrier. So self-discovery is basically learning who you are. And again, in the school system, we weren't taught. When we get to K, we'll be talking about self-knowledge, but self-discovery is gaining that self-knowledge. Who am I? What is my personal nature? If you like astrology, you know, when you're born in certain months, you have certain characteristics. There's Chinese astrology, there's Western astrology, there's Ayurveda in India, which has different constitutions. So nothing's fixed. You're not born with a certain genetic code that you can't change. I tend towards impatience and frustration. But when I came to Thailand, I was in a different environment, and I started to curb them and live. I wasn't impatient anymore. And you can always, if you know what your natural traits are, if you become aware of them through the process of self-discovery, then you can work on them. If you're naturally impatient, you will get impatient, but not all the time, much less, and therefore your life is more optimal. Best way to self-discover is you have to spend time on your own. And I don't mean being lonely. I call it doing alone time. I love doing it in nature, but I do it also at bedtime, when I go to bed and when I wake up in the morning. And you reflect. You review, you recap, and you recall what happened today or yesterday or last year or your whole life, or when a particularly painful incident occurred or when something really good occurred. And you reflect and, what did you learn from it? And this is essential. And in the busy Western life, and I've seen it, people are literally running away from themselves. They won't find the time to sit down and reflect, as if they're worried about loads of bones and skeletons in the closet. Well, if they are in the closet, shine the torch in there, and then they won't be in the closet anymore. Learn, the painful stuff, the stressful stuff, the discomfort. They're our friend if we let them. Especially if you are on the path of self-discovery and self-development. You cannot avoid the painful bits, because within the pain are the seeds to the solution, and the problems. Within the problems are the seeds to solutions. So just to sum up, I think C and D are very important ones. Self-confidence, self-discovery. Self-discovery, spend time alone, beautiful nature, that's a good place to do it, and just think, just reflect. And if something happened, ask yourself, why did it happen? If you had an argument with somebody, maybe it was your fault, not theirs. probably it was both of you together, because everything's relational in life. And self-confidence, you have to do things. So pick up that musical instrument, start painting, start jumping up and down, do some exercise, make new friends, join new clubs, whatever it is. Learn a foreign language. That's a very good one to do. And just open your heart and open your mind, and don't worry about fear of failure, because you're only going to die. And it's best to get to the deathbed without too many regrets, eh? Okay, that's C and D done. Next time will be E and F. And I know what the E is and I know what the F is. Anyway, if you've got this far watching my video, I think that means you quite like the video. So can I ask you to subscribe and help me build my channel? And you're welcome to comment and communicate with me. I'm still small enough and I will always reply to you. Okay, take care. Do you like all the furnishings, the art? Beauty's a very good motivator. Okay, everybody, take care, have a good day, have a good evening, have a good week, and until the next time, bye-bye.